guys? Brendan here with GDP Tuning. Today we're going to show you how to do an install for a shift on the fly switch for an LML Duramax. We've got a 2015 truck here today that we're going to do our install on. I'm going to show you the tools that we need to get the job done. First, it's always good to have a couple of good flashlights. You'll need them. 5/64 drill bit is a must. A couple of pick tools. I recommend a straight pick and a 90-degree pick. Need a few zip ties. Need some cutters. Your switch. We do have the instructions online on our website in PDF format. If you have any questions, please give us a call, 877-223-5018. Let's go out to the truck and check this install out. So here you can see the three harnesses pretty clearly. The rear harness, closest to the firewall, closest to the back of the truck, is the X3 connector. You see those small red locking tabs on each of the harnesses. The red tab will need to be slid upwards. That unlocks the harness so that it can be unplugged. There's also a small button right in the center, just above the tab, that needs to be pushed in so that you can cam the mechanism over. Once it's pulled all the way up, the harness can be removed from the ECM. It's still a pretty stiff connection, but as you can see, it does come out, just a little bit of force. Once it's out, you're going to push the harness and wiring down. Just push it straight down. Try to get it to a position to where it will pop out through the fender well easily. You can see there's not much underneath. It's a pretty straight shot. So you'll need to route your switch through the firewall. I've already done this. You're going to want to use the top grommet. It's the largest, easiest to work with. You'll push through from the engine side into the cab, and you'll feed the switch through, and there are your two wires. Once you get it fed through, you're going to push the two wires down to where they'll pop out the fender well next to the ECM harness. At this point, we will move to the fender well, the driver's side fender well of the truck. On lifted applications, the switch install is going to be a little easier. It's still not too bad on a stock truck. It can be done. You'll see through the fender well there, you can see the blue silicone coupler for the intercooler tube. The ECU harness and the switch wires should be right there. So for this first part, you're going to use a pick tool with a 90-degree bend to take the lower retainer off. You want to pry it up on each side. Careful not to break it. That's what it looks like. Once the retainer's out, you can see all the ECU pins. We'll next take the top cover off. Just a couple of small tabs on either side that hold the top cover on. Comes off pretty easy. There's all your ECU wires. You need to separate them just a little bit to gain access to the correct pin locations. So we're going to choose pin number 11 and 35. You'll see at the bottom of the ECU connector, the corners are numbered. Left corner will say 1. The far right corner will say 53. So the third row over from the left, third row from the left, there's the first 3 slots are open. Third one up here, we're going to use our pick tool to push the plastic plug down. It is molded into the harness, so using the pick tool will break the contact. Once you push it through with a little bit of force, you'll take the 5/64 drill bit and push it out through the bottom of the connector. And there it is. You'll catch the small plug. It's a little piece of black plastic. Make sure that comes out. Now pin 11, it's on the far left side. You can count up from 1. The first slot's empty there. So just count up 11 slots. And it's going to be right here in between the brown and yellow wires. One of the only empty slots on that first row. Same thing here. Separate the wires a little bit so you've got good access. Use your pick tool. Push the plug out. and then use your 5/64 drill bit to push it all the way through and out to the bottom. And there's the second plug. So now it's time to insert our pins. It does not matter which wire goes into which pin location. Either is fine. Just for reference, pin 35 is ground and pin 11 is signal. Now it's time to insert our wires. We're going to go ahead and put the black wire into slot 35. The wires will only go in one direction, so as you insert the wire into the hole, be careful that you don't break the wire off. They're pretty sensitive, so slowly push it in until you hear a faint click, and then just tug upward gently on the wire to make sure that it's seated fully and locked. Next, our purple one in slot 11, same thing. Only goes in one direction. Slowly push it into place till you hear a click, and then tug up gently to make sure it's secured. And we're done with that portion. Next, we need to go ahead and reinstall the lower retainer. So next we're going to go ahead and take our cutters and cut off the zip tie here at the back, securing the wires together. Careful not to cut any of the wires. So remove that zip tie. And you'll see here on the harness there's a little notch on either side that it's meant for a zip tie to go in. Your zip tie needs to rest right here in this channel. Hold it in place. So run your zip tie around so you can secure your two on-the-fly switch wires with the rest of the harness. And you'll see that the little notches on either side secure the zip tie in place. Go ahead and tighten that down, and we'll use our cutters to trim off the excess with the zip tie. Make sure all the wires are squoze back together fully, and then we'll go ahead and put the bottom retainer clip on, the white retainer clip. Only goes on one direction, easy to see. Be very careful sliding this back on that you don't bend any of the pins. Just gently apply pressure until it's clicked all the way into place. Next we'll go ahead and put the top cover back on. Make sure that you don't pinch any wires doing this. It's really easy to do that, so you'll just slide the top cover back on. There is a little notch, a groove, or a channel that goes all the way around the edge that the top cover slides into. You can see here it slides down in that channel, and just push down until those back retainers click into place. It locks it into place. Make sure everything's secure. You can see there it's locked on that side. And now we're ready for the hard part. Get to push the connector back up through the fender well, get it plugged into the ECM. Got to be careful doing this not to rip the wires back out. So whatever you've got to do to gently maneuver the plug back up into position. Now we'll go back up top to pull the harness the rest of the way up and get it plugged back into the ECM. For this part, you'll definitely want to take your time to make sure that you don't pull any of the connectors out of the ECU harness and nothing gets damaged on the connector itself. Just take your time, be patient, make sure that switch loom doesn't get pulled out. Alright, there we have it. ECU connector is back into position. Make sure the harness is all the way up, and then just slide it back onto the ECU. There's alignment tabs that'll make sure it doesn't go in crooked. Go ahead and cam the harness back over, down into position. It will click and lock into place, and then just slide the red retaining tab back down. Go ahead and route your wires into position to where they're secure and not going to get unplugged. And that's it with the hard parts installation portion under the hood. All that's left now is choose your mounting location in the cab and drill a hole, get your switch mounted up, If you have any other questions, please feel free to give us a call. Happy to help out. Thanks.